Hello, my name is Brittany McManus, and I'm going to be doing my teach back on theory of mind. So, theory of mind stems from the ability to be able to understand somebody else's perspective, somebody else's thoughts, and the way that they process information. A term that I like to use and like the book like to use when explaining a theory of mind would be mind reading. No, it does not necessarily mean that you can actually read the minds of other people, but it does mean that you have gained the knowledge and used the tools that we have to understand what they're feeling, to understand their emotions, to understand their mental state, and that all plays a part into this theory of our mind and how we do hold the key to the information that we can use to understand other people's minds. And all of this comes from personal experiences or dealing with other people. The role that theory of mind plays in our social life is pretty big. Being able to understand the people who you are around, or just even being able to understand and interpret people that are in the grocery store when you're shopping, or whatever it may be in the instant that you're trying to understand another person. Theory of mind is important. Being able to use prior experiences or being able to use the knowledge that you have to understand why that a person is behaving the way they are in the social realm is very important. So if you see a person that is very aggravated and very mad at the cash register, you have to be able to understand why that person is mad, why they're aggravated, why they're reacting the way that they are, instead of just making the assumption that that person is aggravated for no reason. We need to understand other people's mind in order to engage with them in social places. So being able to see things from another person's view helps us being able to create healthy and non-toxic relationships. And an example that I included on here would be learning another person's language by listening and watching how that person is using their words. So maybe we don't understand what they're saying, but if we take the time to understand, then it makes a big difference in the way that we create relationships. So theory of mind is underlined with a bunch of different components, and I'm going to get into each component as the slides go on, but these tools that we're going to discuss do help in the way that we understand how others are thinking and feeling. And although experience does play a part, being able to use these different tools such as mimicry and imitation do help in the process of understanding how another person's mind is working. And all this starts at a young age. Like when we're children and we start to mimic other people, just the principle that we understand how to mimic and we know that mimicking that person is teaching us what that person is doing is the first level of theory of mind. So just to discuss the first three portions of theory of mind in the triangle that we've seen in the last one, which was the underlying components of theory of mind, we have agents, goals, and intentionality. An agent category explains the ability to be able to identify the objects in the world that can move on their own. So an example of this would be eyes. Our eyes can move on their own, and they're able to visualize and see the things in the world and the point of view that we need to see them. Which is the reason why babies pick up the skills that they do. They're watching everyone around them. They're watching the way that they walk. They're watching the way that they talk. And this helps in building the understanding of why we do what we do. Goals in theory of mind refer to the ability to notice the systematic and predictable relationships between an agent pursuing an object regardless of the location or circumstance. So an example would be if mom is saying out loud that she wants ice cream and she goes to the refrigerator and she notices that she doesn't want ice cream, so then she goes to the store to get the ice cream. The end goal of eating ice cream was met and the child watched the mother meet that goal. Intentionality is when an agent can complete the skill needed to meet a goal. So basically, if you're wanting to lose 50 pounds by the end of the summer and you have the motivation to lose it, then you can do it. Being able to have the skill needed to meet your goal is very important, and that is by intention. This next slide kind of put two parts of the triangle together. So I have joint attention, and that is when two people who are focused on the same object are conscious that they're each focusing on that object. So to be more specific, say that I'm staring at a cookie and my son is staring at a cookie, and we're both conscious that we're each staring at the cookie. We have an understanding that we both want that cookie. Visual perspective taking is being able to perceive something from the other person's vantage point. So basically, if I'm explaining to the pizza guy where I live and I know the road that he's coming in on, my house is going to be on his right, but it's on my left. But being able to understand his vantage point is visual perspective taking. Projection is believing that another person's perspective is the same as ours. So basically saying, like, I understand that my friend Courtney said she didn't like Fred's outfit, but she tells Fred that she likes his outfit, and I just automatically think that Fred knows that she really doesn't like his outfit. It doesn't work like that. Projection is believing that other people are believing what we believe. And then simulation is the assumption that other person feels how we feel. So basically, if I just make the assumption that my best friend is happy about a new movie because I'm happy about a new movie, then I just cancel out the fact that maybe she doesn't want to see that movie, or maybe she's not happy about that movie, and that is simulation. And on the top of the triangle that we talked about earlier with theory of mind and the mental process is the mental state inference. This is the process of determining what other people are feeling and thinking. This skill forms throughout life, but it does begin in the early ages in places like mimicking and imitation. And it relies on the stored information that we have gained throughout life. This is how we determine how other people are feeling and thinking, and although it may not always be what we're thinking, being able to see things from a bird's eye view is the inference of our mental state. So say that I believe that whipping a kid is not correct and it's not okay. I believe in gentle parenting. I have to infer in my mind and see things from another person's point of view who may believe in whooping. Because although I don't believe it's okay, I have to understand why that person believes it's okay. And that is a mental state inference. So to sum this all up, basically theory of mind is the ability to be able to understand someone else's mind. And we do this by multiple tools and multiple components, such as joint attention, visual perspective taking, projection, simulation, agents, goes, intentions, all those in between. We process information based on different emotions, different faces, different concepts that we've learned, such as fear. And this helps us understand another person's mind. We rely on things such as projection, such as the way that a person is showing their emotions. Is their face telling me that they're sad, or is their face telling me that they're happy? And then also, what is their body doing? What is their body language explaining? Because sometimes the face doesn't always tell the truth. And then the different processes that were spoke on during the presentation all link behaviors to mental states that humans observe, and those mental states help humans infer when trying to see things from another person's perspective. All of this is, like I said, known as the theory of mind and behavior, being able to kind of take back on your own views and seeing things from another person's point of views and understanding things from their side. And all of this information that I gained was referenced out of the theory of mind part of NOBA, which is our textbook for this class. And I appreciate everyone for listening. Thank you.